The Galactic Trade Station Arcturus 7 had been operational for 3 standard cycles without major incident. Commander Vexthor of Station Security considered this a personal achievement. The station housed over 40 different species, each with their own customs, dietary requirements, and territorial instincts. Keeping the peace required diplomatic finesse and an iron fist wrapped in a velvet glove. That peace shattered at 1,400 hours when the distress call came through. Security to Cafeteria Wing Delta. Immediate response required. The translator crackled. The voice belonged to Tlack, one of the Zinthari servers who prided himself on never panicking. He was panicking now. Vexthor arrived with 3 officers to find the cafeteria in chaos. Tables were overturned, chairs scattered, and in the center of it all stood a human female, no more than 5.5 feet tall, holding a Krallian, a species known for their warrior culture and standing nearly 8 feet in height by his anterior appendage. Elena, Vexthor said carefully, his translator rendering his words in perfect Earth Standard English. What seems to be the problem? The human's eyes were cold, her voice eerily calm. This, gentleman, ate my lunch. The Krallian, whose name Vexthor recalled as Gordhak the Undaunted, dangled from Elena's grip like a misbehaving child. His 3 eyes were wide with something that looked suspiciously like fear. It was merely sustenance left unattended, Gordhak wheezed. By salvage rights, salvage rights. Elena's voice dropped to a whisper that somehow carried across the entire cafeteria. That was a pastrami sandwich. Do you understand what I had to do to get real pastrami on this station? Do you have any idea how long I've been craving that specific sandwich? Vexthor had dealt with territorial disputes before. He'd mediated conflicts over mating rights, religious disagreements, and cargo claims worth millions of credits. This situation required delicate handling. Elena, perhaps we can replicate. You can't replicate a grandmother's recipe, Commander. Her grip tightened. Gordhak whimpered. You can't replicate the specific marbling of that meat, aged for 6 months in a temperature-controlled environment. You can't replicate the hand-ground mustard seeds or the rye bread fermented with a starter culture that's been maintained for 3 generations. Another human, a male with sandy hair and an engineering uniform, pushed through the crowd. Elena. Hey, let's talk about this, Braxton said, his hands raised peacefully. Remember what happened last time? Last time someone stole my coffee, Braxton. This is exponentially worse. Vexthor's translator struggled with the word exponentially, but the meaning was clear enough. He made a subtle gesture to his officers to stand ready. Humans were Category 7 Deathworlders, cleared for station access only after extensive psychological evaluation. Elena had passed all assessments with flying colors. Those assessments were clearly inadequate. The human's reaction is disproportionate, one of Vexthor's officers, a logical Xyrillian, noted. Recommended response: restrain and sedate. I wouldn't, Braxton said quickly. Seriously, don't. Gordhak made the mistake of trying to break free. Elena's response was instantaneous. She executed a movement that Vexthor's combat training identified as a throw, but one that defied the physics he understood. The Krallian warrior, who had supposedly won 47 honor duels, hit 3 tables before sliding to a stop. That was a warning, Elena said pleasantly. Would you like to apologize, or shall we continue? Gordhak struggled to his feet, reaching for his honor blade. The crowd gasped. Braxton groaned and covered his face. What happened next would be debated in station security reports for cycles to come. Elena moved with a speed that seemed impossible for a species not classified as predatory specialists. She closed the distance before Gordhak could draw his weapon, delivered a strike to his solar plexus that Vexthor felt through the floor, followed by a series of precise blows to nerve clusters that the station's medical database didn't even know humans were aware of. The fight, if it could be called that, lasted 7 seconds. Gordhak lay on the ground, groaning, his honor blade still sheathed. I'm sorry, the Krallian warrior gasped. I'm sorry. I didn't know. The food was just sitting there. How was I to know it had cultural significance? Elena brushed off her hands. Apology accepted. Don't let it happen again. She walked past Vexthor, patting his shoulder. Thanks for coming so quickly, Commander. Always appreciate the fast response time. Braxton helped Gordhak to his feet, muttering apologies. She's normally very reasonable. It's just humans and food, man. It's complicated. Vexthor watched Elena disappear into the corridor, then turned to Tlack. In your report, note that the Crawlians sustained injuries through accidental collision with station furniture. Understood, Commander. Later, in his office, Vexthor accessed Earth's cultural database. He spent 3 hours reading about human relationships with food, the memories attached to meals, the social bonding facilitated by shared dining, the deep psychological connections to specific dishes that transcended mere nutrition. He also noted that Elena had held back considerably. The medical scan of Gorthak showed extensive bruising, but no permanent damage. Every strike had been calculated, controlled, designed to humiliate rather than maimed at a predator. Showing mercy to Vexthor updated Elena's file. Do not interfere with meal times. Do not touch unattended food. Do not assume human aggression over sustenance is irrational. It is simply operating on parameters we don't yet fully understand. He also sent a message to Braxton. Can humans truly not replicate their traditional foods? The response came quickly. We can. But it wouldn't taste like home. And you don't mess with a person's memories, Commander. Not if you value your structural integrity. Vexthor made a note to have all security personnel attend a mandatory seminar on human food culture. The Crawlian warrior, meanwhile, transferred to another station at the earliest opportunity. When asked why, he simply stated, I have faced Vaxxer death worms and survived the killing fields of Praxis 9. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for a human whose lunch I ate. The galaxy was learning, slowly but surely. Humanity protected what it loved with terrifying efficiency. And apparently, humans loved their sandwiches very, very much.